Okay, so my next project is I'm going to use my pond vacuum, which is also it's a wet and dry vacuum, and I'm going to use it for cleaning up all the sawdust and dust in the garage. But instead of sucking all the crap into the actual vacuum itself, I'm going to build a cyclone which attaches to it. I've looked up a few videos on how to do this, and I'm going to start with this. I bought this big old tub, I think it's like 10 litre or something like that. It's important that it's got a really good lid on it. So this one you can see is super tight, but the idea is that you mount a tube on top of the vacuum, on top of the tub, sorry, that the vacuum goes into and creates the suction, and then you create another tube on the side which will attach to the actual tool itself. So in my case, the compound saw and the table saw when it comes tomorrow. But I'll set it up and let's see how we get on. Cheers. Okay, so I've done what I said. So I've got my wet and dry pond vacuum. It's got a pretty long hose, but it's got that connection onto the end of it. I've also got another vacuum cleaner which I normally use it just for hoovering the car out, but that's got a smaller hose on it, which is good. So so what I've done, I've got this pipe here. This is a bit of PVC pipe. Yeah, I had it kicking around, so I've made a couple of wooden discs that I've screwed onto either side, and I don't know if you can see, I've put a couple of screws in the bottom there and a couple in the top there, just to stop the pipe slipping up and down. And they don't go all the way through there, but they go just enough, because I've inserted a piece of this black pipe which fits onto the actual hoover, the wet and dry itself, so that will go straight into there, and that's a nice fit. So now all I've got to do is I'm going to seal up all round here and all round here, because it's got to be airtight. These two wooden discs are just to give it a bit more stability when I'm putting the hoover hose in and out of there. Then on the bucket, so this is the bucket. I'll probably take the handle off of it. I'm not really fussed about the handle. But what I've done, I've cut a hole in the side there, but on a slant, because I wanted the pipe, rather than the pipe just going in, I wanted it directed in. And then I don't know if you can see there, but what I've done is I've cut an angle on there so that it directs the flow down. I've fixed it with a couple of cable ties, and I've made a little piece of ply just to screw onto the side of the bucket. So that's pretty solid. So my plan is, and once again I've got a seal all round here. I might use silicone. I've got some silicone, decorators cord, that kind of stuff knocking around, or I might even just try the glue gun out, the hot glue gun, because it cools quicker. So yeah, I'm going to seal all that up now, and then I'll test it, make sure it works, and then I'll come back and show you the next part of it. Okay, so as promised, there you go, all sealed up with the glue gun, top and bottom there. And that's pretty solid now. I made sure I went over the screws that I'd put in there to hold it, just to give it that extra stability, and that ain't going anywhere. And then sealed up all around that one as well, and around there. So what I'll do, I'll get it all set up, and then we'll test it out and see how it goes. So this is it in action. So what you can see, we've got the vacuum. It's got a little bit of sawdust in it. We'll get rid of that. So you can see there's nothing in there. So what I'll do, put this back together like so. Okay, this has also got nothing in it, empty, so I'll put that lid on. Like I say, the tighter you can get the lid, the better, because obviously you want an airtight seal. And then I've got a bucket of sawdust. There's even a pretty big wood chip there. Okay, so this is our hoover, which sits in the top there, like that. And then I've got this hose off the other vacuum cleaner. So with this, I've got what do you call it? I've got either end I can put in, so both ends fit into the compound miter saw, and both ends fit into this tube, so it doesn't really matter which way round I do it. But what I'll do, I'll plug that end in there. Okay, so now we're all set up and good to go. Let's see how we get on with this. What I'll do, it's pretty noisy, but I'll try and make sure that like that. Hopefully you'll be able to see, if you keep an eye on the bucket, you'll be able to see the movement inside on the sawdust. Fingers crossed. Okay, so that worked. That's all gone. So if I disconnect that hose and I disconnect this hose, if I now open up my hoover, you can see nothing in there. And if I open up Cyclone, you can see success, and it's even managed to pick up one or two pretty big chips. So there's the other one. So all in all, I'd say that's a success. Cheers, guys.